What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Scores! He did it again!
I just killed him. Before the game, I just killed John Madden because of a stink bomb.
Split special teamers, and now Brown is off to the races. Hurdles, kicks him in.
Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, that was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
Game's over. Game is finally fucking be over.
Ed, you got to turn your mic on. I think. Got his hand on the button.
And now, our feature program.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on,
Travis?
Oh, not too bad. Everybody happy to see that preseason's back. Smitty's here. Apparently we lost Thin.
We did. It's no longer the thick and thin tonight. It's like I said before. It's the thick and them.
Thick and them.
Yeah.
Well, we have one thin guy. He's in another country right now, but he's still thinner than us.
It happens.
Well,
yes, Thin is actually participating or watching one of those preseason games live. So.
Yeah, see, he should be on his phone podcasting live. That would be epic.
He should be videoing, because they have 5G there. He should be videoing in with us right now, so that way we can get live game feedback and see what he thinks of the game. Because he is not a Pats fan.
Who's Pats playing?
Pats are playing the football team.
Ooh, go Redskins. Ooh, can't say that no more, can I?
Oh, you can't.
Damn. Sorry.
I got yelled at for having the Redskins, the Washington Redskins, as the pick all year until I changed it.
Well, it just seems too bad we're live because we can't really edit that out.
No,
right?
That's okay. We're doing it live.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. Ooh, can't say that either.
This is why we say our channel is not for kids.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not even close.
That's okay. We have fun. We do this for the fun, not for the money.
Do that. I have a question.
Wait. We're not getting paid for this?
What?
We do this for the sheer enjoyment of actually talking.
When did we get ice cream?
Considering now we are all over the country because Jeremy's in South Carolina, Smitty, you're in Tennessee, and Chris is wherever Chris is half the time.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get chocolate wasted?
Chocolate
that would be
wasted.
nice. It says thick and thin, 4 of 6 in the call. I know who the 5th person is. Who's the 6th? Any idea? Because there's supposed to be 6 people in this call. Do you see this?
No, I only see 3.
Who?
I don't know why it says 6.
Was this the same group that we did when we did the like 2 years ago, last year, where we did the drafting?
I think it might be. It might be the same one where we had.
It?
Who knows?
What was
LP's
his name?
Friend, Mike, I think was his name.
Yeah, I think
Alabama.
Mike.
Yeah. That was fun because we had everybody from everywhere on there, and people because I didn't figure out how to stop them from flipping in and out. It was a good old time where I had to figure that out. Hey, Nate's here.
Yeah, because that.
Yes, we did start on time.
Yeah,
Nate.
we started on time. It's you. You delay everything.
Damn right. I mean, right on time, 7:30 or 8:30, whatever time that was supposed to start. We started right on time.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because I didn't have to adjust Nate's camera for once.
It's exactly what it is.
Because he's always moving around.
Adjusting Nate's camera.
That's why I said Nate needs to get that like $350 camera that moves with him.
Trust me, it won't keep up with him. He'll be all the way off the other side of the screen. He'll be like trying to find him again.
No, it's got like 120 degrees of movable trackability as long as
but Nate moves too quickly. He'd be like boom, 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 back and forth out of the screen.
Actually, I was watching the review, and it does move pretty quickly if you set it to high speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, that might be useful. It's all for like podcasting and stuff like that, and the camera quality isn't bad. It does 4K 30. It's just an expensive camera.
It's nice that someone's actually listening to us, so we know if we're actually sounding nice or good or.
Yeah.
Well, I checked the audio. We're all coming through, so.
That's good. At least somebody was checking. I'm glad I finally came through. I figured that out. That took me a long while last week.
Yeah, that you literally we're done with everything. It's like Travis like, oh, you can hear me on YouTube. Oh, great.
Hey,
We're done.
I'm back.
Thanks, bye.
We're done. Bye.
Oh, good night, guys.
Okay, so what are we doing?
So what do we want to get into first? College or pros?
Let's start with college. It's the young man sport.
Yeah, it's Chris's man. Yeah. It's Chris's sport.
All right, guys. So a lot of weird stuff going on in college football right now. So as most of you guys know, Texas and Oklahoma have officially accepted the invite to join the SEC, I believe, after the 2023 season. It's either 2023 or 2025. I don't remember exactly which.
They're waiting all the way till then?
Yeah, so basically once their, like, the TV rights and all that stuff and, their conference agreement runs out, they are going to be leaving the Big 12 to the SEC.
Isn't the Big 12 suing the SEC now?
I think the Big 12 was trying to sue ESPN.
Oh, really?
No, I thought
they were trying to sue ESPN.
SEC.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. But, like, the big question for me is, do we think, with these two teams leaving, that the Big 12 is kind of doomed? And I think, that's going to end up being a Power 4 vice a Power 5 conference. And the Big 12 is going to disband and just embed into the other conferences.
Well, what other conferences will they move into?
So one of the things that I've looked at and I've seen is like Oklahoma State and Iowa State, right, moving into the Big 10. You got TCU, they could move into the Pac-12. Baylor could potentially move into the Pac-12. West Virginia's in there, and they could move into the ACC essentially. Back into the ACC, and that move right there would spark up a rivalry again, because Pittsburgh, like the University of Pittsburgh and WVU, used to have a pretty good rivalry, and I think that could spark that back up because they'd both be in the ACC at that point.
So,
what is all that noise in the background?
I think that the SEC wants those two teams inside the conference.
So Texas is a big moneymaker, right? Oklahoma is always a contender, and I think the thing that Oklahoma is going to, that the SEC and Oklahoma aren't thinking about, Oklahoma is as good as they are. Don't get me wrong, they're a good team. They're always a top 10 team, but I think they look better than they are a lot of the time because the Big 12 isn't that great.
Well, do you think that Texas or Oklahoma, when they go into SEC, I'm assuming one's going to go to the East, one's going to the West.
Yeah, that one I don't know.
Do you think that they're going to end up being like number 2 or number 3 in their particular SEC, or do you think they're going to drop down where Vanderbilt?
No. Like, I think so. I think Oklahoma will be very successful, depending on which side they go to. I think the biggest competition for Oklahoma is going to be your Georgia, your Alabama potentially, LSU on a good year, Florida if they pull their head out of their ass, stuff like that, right? Texas in recent years has struggled. They've got I believe they have a new head coach. They got rid of Tom Herman, and so they could, and in the next couple of years, they're still going to be in the Big 12 for the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. So they have time to build a team, and recruit. So I guarantee you these two teams now their recruiting is going to go up a little bit, because we know how the draft takes SEC personnel, left and right. So they're going to be able to use that as a recruiting tool in the upcoming, like, hey, you're going to be playing in arguably the toughest conference in college football. You're going to get noticed by pro scouts if you come play for us. Whereas in the Big 12, you might not have that exposure because, only one or two teams is really all that great.
Yeah.
Well, my I guess mindset or argument against that whole thing is, if you're a college player, a football player, do you really want to play on a team that is 3rd or 4th or 5th best in your conference, or a team that's best in your conference? Because if you're Oklahoma and you're the best in the Big 12, and you're getting Saturday football, people watching you, you're getting ranked up because of who you are. And if you're in the SEC and you're like 5th best, you're not in the top 25 anymore, probably.
Right.
So
I think the
you don't get seen as much.
I think the thing is, like, these these pro scouts are going to look at level of competition, right? You know, if Big 12, you know, Oklahoma, they're playing against the best in the country and they're losing close games, they can still play. They're going to notice that, right? Yeah. So I think from a scouting standpoint for the pros, it's not going to hurt so much. Money-wise and, you know, recognition, do I think Oklahoma might struggle a little bit to make the playoff if they don't go to a 12-team playoff soon? Yeah, I think they will if they stay in a 4-team.
Well, yeah. There's rain's going on over there.
Yeah, it's raining and I'm outside.
I was wondering what all that noise was, because that got loud real quick.
Yeah, because the roof above me is corrugated steel.
So it's a nice roof to fall asleep to, but not a nice one to talk with.
Yeah.
I just assumed that was LP taking care of his woman. I didn't know.
I wonder if there's a way.
But what about here's my next question. I'm going to talk about this all day. I'm sorry. I like my college stuff. I know Jeremy and Travis hasn't mentioned much here because they know enough, but they obviously care.
So my question is, because now college is being allowed to pay their players, are them moving to the SEC is actually going to help them more because they have the money to pay the players. Like Texas is, I think Texas A&M or one of the Texas schools, I can't remember which. They have the most money that gets brought in every year because they have a giant stadium. They are a top-tier team. They have contracts with, I think, ESPN or whatnot. So they have the most endowment or whatever to pay their players because they're moving to the SEC. Would that even increase their ability to bring those top-tier players?
Maybe. I think playing in the SEC, you're going to get better endorsement deals and things of that nature, but you know, I don't know, like this whole I'm going to call it the pay to play, essentially.
Yeah.
Rule that they passed. It's, you know, it's so new. It's hard to say what it's going to affect, how it's going to affect the game.
Now, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, because you can. Pay to play is, I didn't think that the schools themselves are paying the players at all. So the players can use their name and likenesses in video games or their jerseys with their name from companies like Nike and stuff like that, and they will be allowed to pay them up to like $120,000 or something like that.
Yeah, like each endorsement's like up to $120,000.
Yes, but the endorsements can pay them, but the schools themselves aren't paying them.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, so I think it's the exposure. So teams, you know, companies that, you know, that don't normally, you know, say have sponsorship deals associated with the Big 12, but do with the SEC, will be able to utilize these players as well.
Right.
Okay, and also, what does this mean for? Okay, I guess for anyone here who wants to answer this question, because if Oklahoma, they are now leaving and go to the SEC. What is their rivalry? Who's the rivalry? Is it Oklahoma State?
So Texas, it's the Red River rivalry, so it's A&M.
Okay. Oh, it's Oklahoma and Texas. That's the rivalry.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay, what's Oklahoma's biggest rivalry?
Oklahoma is probably either Texas or Oklahoma State.
Okay, I think it'd be Oklahoma State. So do they still get to play them once a year, like an out-of-conference play? And what happens to those rivalries?
That's going to have to be the SEC because they haven't made those schedules. Nothing's finalized as far as scheduling. So
I think you need to move a microphone close to your mouth, man. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, there is also, I'm trying to get to the settings because there is a setting you can set for noise cancellation.
Noise.
Okay.
Oh my God, who was that? Was someone else here?
Hey.
Jeremy.
All right. So
Hi,
Nate, not Nate. Chris, go into your settings and audio video settings. And if you scroll down right underneath the microphone, it says noise cancellation. Put that on high for yours. See if that helps.
I hope that makes his voice go up 5 octaves. That'd be so great. It's like he's sucking on helium.
You see it?
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Wow.
Now talk, Chris.
Chris,
do you hear us?
I can hear you.
Put it to
hear you
medium.
a little bit. Might be too much.
Yeah, put it to medium. Let's try that one. Because you broke up a little bit.
Worst comes to worst, I can go inside.
That's a much better. Maybe low. Let's go through them all.
Okay, now talk, Chris.
Okay.
All right.
Better?
No, you got to go to medium. Medium was at least better.
Medium had no rain. We still could hear you.
Yeah, medium had no rain. We can hear you.
This is on. I think this is on low right now. So I only have low, auto, and high.
Try auto.
That's what it was on originally.
All right, then
go to high.
Go to high.
We may give Chris a second or two to talk and let the system catch his voice.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's on high.
Perfect. At least
works.
we have no rain and we can hear you.
We can hear you. You're a little quiet, but
Try pulling the microphone a little closer.
Yeah, just
we hear you.
I'll do some adjustments that way. That worked a little better.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
The robot.
Little robot-y, but it's better than hearing the rain where we can't even hear each other.
I think that's partially because of the weather. The internet.
Yeah. The weather messes with your internet over there. That's okay. So what's the next thing you tour, or we were talking about the pay to play?
Yeah. So So the big thing right now with that whole pay to play thing. So Quinn Ewers, right? Ohio State commit was supposed to commit next year, come in 2025 to 2022 to a recruiting class. Left and forgoes the senior high school season. He graduate early, and he comes and enrolls this year. So now they have 4 quarterbacks in the quarterback room that are all top 10 guys.
Yeah.
What is there something going on in Ohio State that I don't know about? I mean,
he's set to make almost $1 million in endorsements.
Yeah.
Well, I get him, but I mean, 3 other that are in top 10 that are going to that same school.
Yeah,
I mean, you figure somebody wanted to.
In the last, so in each of their respective recruiting classes, they were in. So, but this a random fact, you guys, in the top 24/7 ranked recruiting rankings, only once. Only once in history has a team had 5 of the top 10 in one recruiting class, and that was 2021 Ohio State's class.
Oh, wow.
Sounds rigged.
It sounds like Ohio State has a really good recruiting company or system.
Yes, I'm assuming there's some persuasion techniques going on there.
Yeah, they're doing what Miami did in the 80s.
Sounds like somebody's got a car.
Yeah. Miami, got a lot of great recruits, won 4 championships.
Matt Sawyer, who's our freshman defensive end, Mark Wahlberg actually bought him a truck.
That's not suspicious.
Did Mark Wahlberg go to Ohio State?
No, I don't know. I think Sawyer is from the area that Wahlberg's from in Massachusetts or wherever, the Boston area, I think. So I think that's why he did it. So moving on from that, what do you guys think about these guys leaving early to cash in, on a new money? You guys support it? You think they can stay to their senior high school season? Or is it based off of just your school that you graduated?
Personally, I think that the rule should be they have to graduate from high school. They shouldn't be able to leave high school early to go to college just to get paid to play.
Well, I mean, he graduated. That's the thing.
Okay.
He had enough credits and whatever. He met the requirements to graduate. It's just he met them. I guess, his school just allows you to take summer classes, even if you don't you're not required to take summer school. So he basically went to school for 3 straight years, twice, having a summer break.
Yeah.
That audio thing just.
I think it's that audio thing died out, but that's okay.
That's okay. I think I'd rather hear the rain in the background than hearing the robot talk.
Yeah. So
you mean Robot Chris is entertaining you?
So my thing is credits is a huge thing. As if he worked his tail off to say, okay, I want to get done with high school early. I'm going to get all my credits during the summer. As long as he passed the requirements to do it, that's fine. Because then technically he was a senior when he was technically a junior. But he had to make all of those credits to get there. So that's there.
But the question is, did he actually work his tail off, or was he just signed up for them and they pretty much said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna."
Well, I don't know how it is now, but back, in Abraham Lincoln's day when I was in school,
right when the dinosaurs were still around.
Exactly. They if you passed every class and you had a full schedule up until your senior year, you had more than enough credits to graduate high school. You could have graduated high school but they spread it out to the point where, you had to take that like English 4 last semester to make sure you have that last half credit. But
yeah.
I mean, you get a lot more credits than you need to graduate as long as you get your bases. So if he got his bases out of the way, because when I graduated, I could have got out early. I could have stopped going to school last semester, but I didn't.
Right.
So because I enjoyed the school. So if he can,
you
if he
enjoyed
the
parties at school.
What?
You enjoyed the parties.
I did.
Get drunk, go ride a dinosaur.
He enjoyed the pretty ladies at school.
That too.
I did that too. But if I'm telling you, if my son was in that situation, it's like, yes, go and play. Now, whether Ohio State actually starts him, because that's a different thing, because he's not going to get many looks or any kind of money just by going to the school.
No.
If he's not playing, he might get one endorsement for like a local chicken factory or something, like, Bye-Bye Chicken,
So recruiting class, he was like the #1 quarterback in the country. So he's already got some endorsements. He's already expecting him to play.
So I'm like, son, make your money. You know what? If you make enough money in college, don't even go pro. It's like, why get beat up like that?
You think about it, most of these kids in college, only 1% of them make to the pros anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You figure
half these #1 recruits never make it past like year 2 of college anyways. So
yeah, so they can get the recruits now, they get the money now, and if they fizzle out after those first 2 years and they end up just getting a degree in something else, cool. They got some extra money, so that way they can start building a life towards whatever they're doing.
Absolutely. So I say more power to them. But I also do think it might end up for some people who are in high school trying to get to college and they have that decision to make and maybe a little bit of, sneaky stuff going on, like Jeremy was saying, like, do they actually graduate or do they just sign up and the teachers signed off on it?
They got credits for the class.
Yes.
Credits. And
you get the basket weaving
but
class.
they can't do math 10 plus 10.
Yeah.
Which is fine because apparently math is racist now. But the point is,
it's racist because it's an absolute. There's no this or that. It is this. This is your answer.
Yeah.
Period.
So, but that might affect them long term. And let's say that, like this young man here, he goes to college. Not this man here, but say another young man, or even a woman now, skips through school. They're very talented, like a lot of basketball players happen to basketball players. Skip through school.
Yeah.
And they go early. They get injured, something fierce, while they're playing football, so they can't play football no more. That money that was coming in for those endorsements are going away.
Yeah.
And now they don't have and now they can't pass college. Because and college ain't gonna help them at all because their college ain't helping because they're not helping the college anymore. It's like, I guess what? So now your full ride scholarship's gone. You don't know.
Actually, there's usually most of the time in those full ride scholarships, there is because a lot of these kids that get those boat rides, they have college. They hire lawyers, and most of those full boats, if they get injured playing the sport that they got a full boat ride, they are guaranteed 4 years of college still.
Yeah. Right.
As long as they maintain a certain GPA.
Yeah, they have to maintain a certain GPA to keep that scholarship.
Yes, they were.
And even before the endorsement deals, a lot of these guys carried insurance too. Yep. Most of that insurance was also towards, like, if their draft stock plummets because they got hurt or something like that, they carried that insurance as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm sure it's few and far between, but there's going to be a few that get through there, get injured, and they're not going to know how to do life or taught anything because they were living on their skill, and their skill's gone.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Oh, yeah. It happens a lot.
Happened to me.
You were going to be a professional Triceratops rider, and then you got injured, right?
I was supposed to go to USA, University of South Alabama, on a partial ride scholarship because I played tight end. I was that good. They wanted to give me that stuff, and
well, back then, if you
I failed too many classes.
I was going to say back then they wore leather helmets.
Yes.
No, they didn't wear helmets. Don't lie.
Senioritis hit me like the first day of my senior year, so I failed classes. So scholarship was pulled, and they won't me no more. And then I quit the football team.
And then you quit the football team. Drinking got in the
that
way
was,
of football.
That was the only year that Niceville High School won the state championship.
Well, that's the reason they won, because you weren't on the team.
You weren't dragging them down anymore.
Yeah. So, moving on to the next thing in college football, I'm gonna go over the top 25 preseason coaches poll.
Ooh,
right,
cool,
so
cool.
We haven't got the AP poll, or because it's AP and coaches poll all the way up until the college football playoff poll comes out like week 9 of the season. So right now the only one released is the coaches poll.
Yeah.
So at number 25 you have Ole Miss, Mississippi.
Yeah.
24 you got Coastal Carolina.
Really? Okay.
At number 23 we got our Raging Cajuns.
Yeah.
I cannot believe.
At number 22 you got Oklahoma State.
Nate jumping on the bandwagon.
21 is UW at the University of Washington. Number 20 is Penn State. Texas is 19.
Okay.
Iowa is 18. Indiana is 17. The University of Miami, is at 16.
The actual University of Miami?
I was waiting for Smitty's reaction. Number 15.
The highest we get all year.
Number 15 is Wisconsin. 14 is Southern Cal, so USC. LSU is at 13. Oregon is at 12.
I love LSU.
Florida is at 11.
Oh, that's too fucking. I don't know.
Yeah. Cincinnati is at 10.
The Bearcats, the Bear Claws, what the hell they're called?
That's a good good starting spot for them. Number 9 is North Carolina. Iowa State is 8.
Nice.
The Fighting Irish, Notre Dame, are number 7. Texas A&M is at 6. Georgia Dogs are at 5. My Buckeyes are at 4. Oklahoma at 3. Clemson at 2. And Bama at 1.
Really?
What? No whack in there anywhere? Where's New Mexico State? Come on.
Right. So that's the preseason ranking so far, and I like looking at it, and based off of how everybody finished on the weird season last year, it kind of makes sense. The Raging Cajuns of Coastal Carolina, were set to square off in their conference championship, but because of COVID, that game got canceled. So that makes sense that they're placed kind of where they're at.
Now because of what we talked about last year and all the Raging Cajun, I now by default, because I'm petty, am a Coastal Carolina fan. I have no. What is their logo?
I think they're a wave.
The Chanticleers.
What?
The Chanticleers.
What the hell's a Chanticleer? Not chandelier, but not Chevrolet, but a Chanticleer.
A Chanticleer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A shed to clean what?
Jerry, you've always got a shed
somebody look
to
it
clean.
up, please. How do you spell it? Hang on.
What college is that?
Coastal Carolina. All right. What else you gonna talk about, Chris? While I look this up.
Yeah. So they had proposed a 12-team playoff. I don't think it's not going to happen this year because obviously with all these changes in college football as far as conferences, stuff like that, it's not going to happen this year. Could potentially happen next year. I think it opened everybody's eyes to the potential of what they could do with a 12-team.
Yeah.
I know I sent you guys that kind of like mock bracket. It actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It could be really interesting. I liked it. So.
Yeah, I was kind of like, why didn't they do this already?
Right. And I think it'll happen next year, honestly. But as of right now, as far as I know, it is not on the table for this year. Things could change. We know that, especially before, the college football rankings or playoff rankings don't come out till week 9. So really, you could make that change any time in the first 9 weeks.
Yeah, the more and more we talk about it, the more and more I hope and pray that they actually go to an actual playoff system and get rid of this bowl games, like not really playoff system.
Okay, so as Chanticleer.
All right, so I got it for it. So let me switch this.
Proud and fierce rooster who dominates the barnyard.
Oh yeah, I'm showing it on
the
Carolina Cox.
I know you don't listen to the show. I know you don't listen to the talking stuff, but Wooster Cockburn, who is the logo of our show, that's what he is. So the Chanticleer is a rooster.
Yep, he's a rooster that's given like muscles. I
got
it on the
LP. You need to be a fan.
And you should, if you look at it, if you look at the YouTube, it looks like he's got a set of nuts on his chin.
Dude, look at that, Chris. So you need to do your art and take that guy and transform him into like a Boston bully with the hat.
Oh no, we're doing the hot dog with the balls.
Yes, with those balls, it's definitely a hot dog.
But Wooster Cockburn, that's who he is.
And I don't have Nate for my intro, right? But they're in Raging Cajun news.
The Raging Cajun.
There we go.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
My voice is really raspy from yelling at all the 8-year-olds.
Raging Cajuns.
So Nate's beloved Cajuns open their season on September 4th against the University of Texas, against the Longhorns. Can they pull off the upset week 1?
Nope.
I don't think they do.
No.
But you never know. QB Levi Lewis returns for his senior season and is expected to be the starter.
Oh. So
he had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, he had a good year last year, so it's possible they might pull an upset because that to have a starting QB 2 years in a row is quite helpful.
Rare anymore. Yeah.
I have a question for you, sports fans.
Yes.
Wait, who's a sports fan here?
I know that the NFL has NFL Network, and if you want to buy it, you can watch all the football games, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a television thing, whatever. You can just get the app and then
a subscription. I think you can just get the NFL Sunday ticket.
Yeah.
Right. So my question is this: do they have anything like that for college football?
No,
not really. You gotta find there. So there's the Big Ten Network, the Longhorn Network, which is specifically just Longhorn games.
Yes. So the answer is no, but yes. So certain conferences, certain teams have their own network. You can buy a subscription, watch it.
But you have to have like
internet. No, it's just internet. You don't have to have TV.
So there is if I remember, there's an SEC network that does SEC games all the time. There's a Big Ten network.
There's a network for every single every Power 5 conference.
Yes.
All right. And then like your Big Ten games, most of those are going to be on the Fox app.
Yep.
Because Fox bought the Big Ten network essentially.
Yep.
A lot of your ABC games are going to be SEC games because they're highly related to the SEC, but a lot are on SEC network as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have cable or know somebody with cable that lets you use their password and to log into like the Fox network and whatnot, you can actually watch the SEC game network through the Fox app.
Yeah, because I don't have cable, so I'm just figuring a different way around it to watch college football games.
Yeah, so if your cousin or something you're good friends with will let you use their username and password to log in for
Wait, Smitty has a husband?
Well, Smitty's husband would definitely, but he also doesn't have cable.
If I did have a husband, he'd be a happy man.
Well, that's Nate. That's why. Isn't that why you're gonna be?
Is that LP?
Yeah,
isn't your LP your husband?
That's one of the destinations. That why we're one of the destinations to move to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, didn't we go over this? You two need to move down to the three of us now.
Well,
yeah.
Well, first
Smitty's gonna pretty close.
Smitty's got to come up here, bang as much as he can, and then we'll all move south. Because we got to move south when Smitty gets so old, we need a wheelchair, and his bones will hurt.
That's like 2 weeks away. Why do you think
all I got
Florida
for
next
college.
week?
That's all you got for college?
Yeah.
That was a lot, actually. Very good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You covered the first hour of the show in college.
Really? Oh no, it's only 35 minutes, so it's not
Yeah,
bad.
because we were waiting around for 40 minutes to get everything just in.
And obviously, once games start here in a couple weeks, I'll be able to put like the normal, games to look out for and stuff like that. So once the season starts.
You all heard the top 25, so I have two questions. If you all remember the top 25, which I kind of remember, any teams there that you're surprised are in the top 25 or as high as they are or as low as they are? Right.
I mean,
besides Chris.
Well,
because Chris hasn't memorized probably. But did any football team on there like, what the fuck are they doing on there for?
The top 5, I can understand where they're at. It's the ones that are like a Florida being at number 11. That's a little high for me. Who else was I kind of like not like surprised that they were
North Carolina.
Yeah.
So Cincinnati makes sense of where they're at 10 because they've been strong the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And, so that makes sense. That's a good starting spot. North Carolina, they finished, I think, 3rd in the ACC last year behind Notre Dame, who, from my understanding, is going to be independent again this year. They're not going to be in the ACC.
I hate Notre Dame just because of that fact.
Yeah.
And every other fact.
The worst part is I used to love Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The only reason you love Notre Dame is because of Rudy.
Well, duh.
I think A&M's good. I think they're slightly overrated. I wouldn't have them at 6. I'd probably have them at like 8. But that's just me.
Well, I mean, like, how does Notre Dame just go from ACC back to independent, back to ACC, back to? I mean,
so the reason
they don't have a contract.
They don't have a conference or a contract. So their contract is with NBC for TV rights. That's it.
Right. And the thing is, that's an unfair advantage I think they have because they win games, great, but there's no championship game for them to play. So, like they've done before, they make the top 4. It's like, but they didn't play a great team to make it.
So typically they do have a tougher ranking schedule, right? Like they have one of the higher ranked schedules every year because they do play from 3 different conferences.
Yeah, but who do they play? Like Ohio State? I mean,
no, they don't play us. They play Michigan. They play Michigan State.
They play the tougher teams. They don't play Ohio State.
They don't play the really good teams. They just play the tougher teams. But they do play Southern Cal, Stanford. And in recent years, those guys haven't been real great. But
didn't they used to play Penn State a lot?
Sometimes they do play Penn.
Now, do y'all agree that Bama should be ranked number 1 right now?
Yeah.
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 Do you think they're ever going to drop out number 1?
Yeah.
I don't.
I think when Steven retires, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say until the turnover happens of the quarterback, the coaching staff. I think they've pretty much solidified their stock in number 1.
The only way Bama drops out of 1 in the preseason ranking is if they lose a national title game, or either they don't play for a national title, which probably won't happen, or they lose the national title game to say Ohio State or a Clemson, and that particular team has a lot of starters returning.
Yeah, they don't. Everyone doesn't go to college except pros afterwards.
I don't think Clemson is going to stay at number 2. I don't think Clemson's going to be that great this year.
No, Clemson's going to quickly plummet.
Yep.
We saw what happens that week that what's his name was out anyways.
So I think that
North Carolina is going to beat Clemson this year.
With this whole paid playing thing in college, I think we're going to see a whole new set of top tier teams in the next 5 years. I can almost guarantee it because you're going to have a lot of these teams that have a lot of money that are willing to put a little extra in, get these kids a bit more money for deals to be to have their rights be worth more, to get them saying, okay, this school's gonna get me $100,000 per thing, but he's only gonna get me 5 of them. This team's already promised me 10 different endorsement deals that I'm gonna make $100,000 on, so I'm gonna walk out of there with almost $1 million, $2 million kind of thing.
I think Alabama's gonna be perfectly able to do that too, because how
but they're also gonna, like you said, the Booster bought them a car. Mm-hmm. So now you're gonna see a lot of these boosters saying, okay, I'm gonna give this guy a car and that guy's gonna get a car and whatnot. You're gonna see a lot more wheeling and dealing in these states, these schools that boosters really like give a lot of money to the team anyways. You're gonna see a lot more moving of money to like give these kids
a lot more
gifts.
Gifts going there that way.
Yeah, that's what Miami did in the 80s, and they got the death sentence when they got in trouble where they couldn't recruit for like 20 years.
Right.
So
and now
hopefully they remember how they did it, and then they do it again.
Well, what they're going to do is try to find that guy that did all that and then hope he's not dead and then bring him back.
But they're like, you know what? Everyone's doing it now, so there's no unfair advantage.
Right.
So now all they can do is say, hey, I got some cocaine. I got some.
You know what we got down here in Miami?
Yeah, it's Miami. We got everything. What do you want? The uppers, downers, lefters, righters?
Lefters, righters. I'm going to predict this right now. I say Alabama loses to Auburn in the Iron Bowl.
Okay.
Just prediction. Not because I think Auburn's great, but because it's Iron Bowl.
So that's on the record.
You guys, this is a fact for you guys. So there are 65 voters in the coaches poll, right?
Yep.
So that's 65 votes. Oklahoma received 2 first-place votes, right?
Yeah.
Alabama got the other 63.
Holy crap.
Well, yeah, that's because they know that coaching staff is intact, and they can recruit anyone and everyone from anywhere, and people want to go to Alabama because the coaching, what they built there.
They want to play for the coach.
We know that Oklahoma's coach probably voted for Oklahoma. So who was the second person that voted for Oklahoma?
His best friend, who coaches the team.
And if you're coaching, I don't know, the Tippertons or whatever, the Maryland team, are you not going to vote for your team as number one? I mean, I'm voting my team. There should be a 65-way tie for first place.
No, because a lot of the coaches, they will admit that their team compared to another team, if they're real football coaches, they'll be like, no, these guys are, Jordan, you need to tilt your camera up a little bit. That these guys are better than us.
And I think there should be, if there's not already, that you can't vote for your own team.
Probably. And the Oklahoma State coach is not in the. I'm looking at the list. He's not in it.
Okay, so
two actual coaches did.
It's not actual coaches of the teams then.
No, there is, but like it's not every single coach.
Not every team has a coach in there.
So like I'm looking at it like.
Do they change it year to year?
That I don't know. So like James Franklin and Pat Fitzgerald, it looks like are. Well, there's quite a few. There's quite a few from the Big Ten, actually. Like Tom Allen's on it from Indiana, Pat Fitzgerald from Northwestern, James Franklin from Penn State, Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State. But then you have like Miami of Ohio is in here. Middle Tennessee is in here. Nick Saban's in there.
Oh, yeah, of course. Saban's going to be there until the day he passes away.
So Billy Napier, who's the head coach for the Raging Cages, is a voting member. So it is you have Kent State's coach.
Yeah, they're coaches. So it's coaches from all over the place, basically.
Yeah, like it's from every aspect of the game. You have Northern Illinois in there.
Yeah, you have some, sounds like you have some big schools, some little schools, some medium schools. You don't have just the big schools. You don't just have the small schools.
Yeah, so UMass is in there. Walt Bell,
really?
coach for UMass, he's in there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So what you're saying, 63 of these coaches want to coach for Alabama if they're ever looking for more coaches.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. So. All right, so what do we got for pro there, Trav?
All right, looks like Jerry wants to talk about the adult industry.com. But
I don't know. Apparently, I'm not paying attention. This sounds interesting.
Apparently, he thinks he's on Monday night's radio.
Wait, this isn't Monday?
No, it's not Monday. This is Thursday. But let's talk about Smitty. So Smitty found a nice little playoffpredictor.com, nice little website called playoffpredictor.com. And he was able to make all his picks for the season and see how, like, where he thought teams were going to place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
it starts off with week 1, has all the teams playing each other. You click one you think is going to win, go through the list. When you're done, you hit week 2. It goes to week 2, and it has, every game, every week, all the way to week, 19 actually. And then at the end of that 19 week, you can look back or you can look at your screen and it shows you what you thought each team was going to end up doing, and say you disagree with your picks because a team suddenly went 0-17 like the Raiders did when I first did it. Like there's no way the Raiders are going to lose this
win team.
You can go back to that team, click on that team itself. It opens up a box that has all the teams it's playing and what you picked, and you can change it. Hit close, and it changes it for you.
That's cool.
That way you get without going, I think this team is the best team and probably going to lose 2 games. At least this way, you can see.
Yeah, you can pick up game by game, and then you said, you're like, hold on, my Dolphins went 11 and what did they go?
Yeah, my Dolphins went. Let's see, my Dolphins went 11-6. Yeah, and I'm thinking there's no way in hell they're going 11-6. Like I thought they're going to go like 9-7.
Yeah.
All right, 9-10,
9-8.
Yeah, I think they go 9-8.
And then you look back and you're like, no, they should win those games.
Yeah, then look back like they should win these games. So
that's like I've never heard of it. So Smitty, our oldest grandpa veteran of
the one that can't do it by himself by pulling up the schedule every week and going, okay, win, loss,
Yeah.
had to find a website to do it for him.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder.
He found a website that I've never heard of, and it sounds like it would work.
The funny thing is he was looking for porn. He wasn't looking for that.
Yes.
I was, because it was not. I typed in actually play with myself peckers. And
all of a sudden this came up. All right, so besides that, because that's kind of a sweet little thing to find, of the top 3 quarterbacks that were drafted this year, Trevor Lawrence went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Zach Wilson, number 2, went to the New York Jets. And at number 3, Trey Lance went to the San Francisco 49ers. And Nate loves men. Do you think any of these guys will actually have a good first 3 years?
Can we bring the 4th one in?
I think Trey Lance.
I just want to talk about these 3 because these went 1, 2, and 3. And
that's
Mac
true,
Jones
but I think the guy that went to Chicago is going to have a better year than all of them.
Yeah, he went at number 12, right?
But we'll talk about
11. I think 11 or 12.
Yeah, but let's talk about these first 3 guys.
I'm not even sure if he will play this year, actually.
If he doesn't, it won't be till like week 8 or 9 at the earliest.
Yeah, they already promised what's his name to start. The Red Rocket there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about the top 3 and whether they're going to have a good 3 years.
First 3 years, whether they're going to be good by the time they're done, or they're going to, because a lot of these times these top pick quarterbacks, they don't even make it 3 years before they're just let go. So
yeah, what's his name that went to Arizona then to Miami? What was his name? He was a good quarterback too, out of California.
Yeah, he was good he was great coming out of college, but when the minute he got in the pros, he never left the bench, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to talk about these guys, because these guys are supposed to be the number 1 pick, the number 2 pick, the number 3 pick. They're supposed to be good. They're supposed to be franchise quarterbacks.
My thought would be the best option to actually be a successful quarterback is going to be Trey Lance.
Okay.
Due to the fact he went to San Francisco, a team that is a good team who had a year where they had, 80% of their starters down on IR for more than half the year.
If San Francisco was a healthy team, they might have very well been in the playoff. I mean, the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
They would have played Tampa Bay. It'd be tough.
You are the number 3 pick going to a team that is stacked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have 1 year to deal with Jimmy G, and then it's your team. So 2 full years of starting with no real competition against you. He has the best chance. Yeah, the issue is Zach Wilson. It's the Jets. They have no one except for Zach Wilson. And Trevor Lawrence went to the Jags. I mean, what do you expect of them?
I think Trevor Lawrence has a chance to be, because you have to define what's a good first 3 years. Is he showing progression, whatever? I think he can be successful there, especially the fact that they drafted ATN. He's got a running back that he's comfortable with. He knows. I think the defensive side of the ball is what's going to kill Jacksonville. But I think offensively, I think he can show production, and I think he'll be successful in that aspect. It may not necessarily translate to wins and losses necessarily, but I think he'll start to turn that offense around.
Okay, who was the quarterback in the Jets?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson went to the Jets.
Okay,
It looks like he's 10.
You went with San Francisco. You went with Jag, so I now have to talk over the Jets. Thank you. You notice how you did that. You didn't think about the other two. You talked about that one team.
The GETS.
I talked about all three. I did reach on all three.
Between the three, the one I think is gonna have the best 3 years. I think the guy in the Jets. What's his name?
Zach Wilson.
He's one of the Hanson triplets, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think Zach Wilson will be the only one that starts next year. I think he starts as a rookie. I think that he's going to get hurt a lot as a rookie, but he's going to get seasoned as a rookie. So year 2, when he has a second year behind center playing with the team, and Lawrence is starting his first year actually, and Trey is starting his first year, they're going to be a year behind. They may do what my dude over in San Diego is doing. You know, I guess they're not San Diego anymore, are they?
No, they're LA.
Which I'm still a little butthurt about that. But anyways,
hey, you wanted him. You can't do anything your team didn't.
No, that's true. I'm glad you all remembered that, and I didn't have to repeat it 40,000 times.
I remembered it. I remember every time I see Herbert play, I say, "Oops, Smitty was right. He wanted him, not Tua. You don't want the left-hander."
No, I didn't want left-hander, and Tua may do be fine. But the point is, Wilson's gonna be ahead of them but I think when it's all said and done, I do agree with the Jacksonville. He will have the better top 3, but I think Wilson, if he survives his first year, he'll have a better next 3 years than our Trey Lance over there in freaking San Francisco. Because
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to start. Maybe not game 1, but by game 3.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Their other option is Gardner Minshew, and
Gardner Minshew's a beast, dude. Why do you?
Speaking of,
if the team was sold on him, they wouldn't have went out and wasted a number 1 pick. They would have traded down, caught a plethora of picks, and built that team around him.
Yeah.
Speaking of him, hey, guess what? San Diego Chargers was not sold on Drew Brees.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why they get rid of him.
I think Gardner Minshew is the next Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He very well could be.
Well, speaking of Gardner Minshew, the Jaguars coach Urban Meyer said that it is still an open competition at QB between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. He says, I think we'll answer that as we get closer. Do we think Gardner Minshew is basically afraid to lose his job, and if he doesn't win the competition, it'll be the end of him starting ever again? Because of like how you're saying that if Trevor Lawrence actually wins that out, he may have a good 3 seasons.
I don't think Minshew has an option. I think Minshew is going to lose this open competition. Maybe not this first year, but like Jeremy said, you don't do what Jacksonville said or do unless that's going to be your quarterback for the future, and you're going to give him 3 to 5 years to get that done. Minshew is not going to be in Jacksonville after this year, most likely. But I still think he's good enough to start for another team that might be in transition, like whoever it was that said Fitzpatrick. Jeremy?
Yeah.
So he'll start for Texas or, maybe Atlanta if what's his name decides to retire or move.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what, but I think Minshew is a fine quarterback. I mean, he's not top tier, he's not top 10, but I think he's top 20.
But do you think that he's going to lose that starting position before week 4?
No, I think Minshew plays out. I think if he doesn't play out, they'll do what Miami did and they'll wait to the bye week. And there's 2 bye weeks this year, right?
I don't think so. I have to double check the schedule. I think they're playing.
Just like anything else, if Jacksonville comes out kicking ass and they win their first 3 games, Minshew isn't going anywhere. But Minshew will not be on that team next year, because Jeremy is right. You do not do what Jacksonville did if you're just gonna let this guy go.
Yeah.
Well, wait, you guys heard that? Smitty said I was right.
I don't know, Jeremy. Your internet's breaking up.
I've noticed that.
What do you think, Chris? Because I was talking a lot while you were being very quiet over there, friend.
Oh, no, I agree with you guys. I think Minshew, unless Trevor Lawrence in preseason or whatever just completely fucking outshines Gardner Minshew. I think Minshew starts at least the first 3 to 5 games, bare minimum, and then at that point, I think maybe if he's not doing well, Trevor Lawrence steps in. But I think Minshew's he's battle proven, so to speak. I think you go with him at least week 1 and kind of see, how things go. If you need to put, Lawrence in on cleanup duty or whatever, give him some reps, but
Right.
you don't.
Because if you look at the history of football, I mean, how many quarterbacks came in rookie year and was an elite quarterback in their whole career? How many?
Peyton Manning.
No, not even.
Peyton Manning's first few years he started.
I know.
Yeah, Peyton Manning sat.
No,
Brady
he
said
played.
He didn't sit.
He just threw
Peyton
more.
Manning started right away.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning just did his
He
first
wasn't
year.
good.
They were losing record.
Yeah, they were losing. He threw 16 interceptions that year. He almost had the record, but I think Nate's favorite football player of all time,
Mr. Favre.
yeah, Favre. I think he holds the record for the most interceptions in a single year.
You think about the greatest quarterbacks, and all of them, except Peyton Manning, I forgot he didn't sit, but I thought he did because he sucked so bad his first year. They all sat. They sat for at least a year.
A lot of them did, yeah.
I mean, Marino sat. Montana sat. Favre
was traded
Rodgers
for
sat.
3 different teams.
Yep.
Yeah, Young sat and was traded. Rodgers sat.
Yep.
Even what's his name over in Kansas City? He sat.
Yeah, he sat behind
Alex
Smith.
Yeah, who was balling out too.
Yes, he was. So I believe it's very smart to sit your first round quarterback for a year and give him a couple reps. Because there's no secret that Jacksonville's not going to go to the playoffs this year.
So Peyton Manning's first year, he went 26 touchdowns, 28 interceptions.
Yep.
Yeah. See, so you gotta give him that time. And yeah, maybe you want.
And they went 3-13.
Maybe they want Lawrence to do that. That's fine. But I believe Peyton Manning is the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, a high drafted rookie starting never pans out as a good team that year. It's a lot of growing pains. It's a lot of learning. And if the owners aren't willing to understand the concept that it's going to be a few years till we turn this all the way around, the coaches and everyone will be gone, and then they'll be finding another quarterback.
Oh, I have a question. Maybe because I don't know for sure because I don't know. What's his name from Buffalo? Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yes.
Now, he kicked ass this last year. Before that, he was just average. Did he start as a rookie or did he sit behind somebody?
I'm almost positive he sat his first year.
Okay.
But Jaron, you should double check that.
I'm on it.
And also, what's his name? He's gonna sit behind Jimmy G. He's gonna sit behind Jimmy G. There's no doubt that Jimmy G's gonna play late.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. Yeah. Well, the way Jimmy G is, the way he gets injured, he may not sit for very long.
Okay, so Josh Allen was drafted in 2018. He started 11 games. He went 5-6. So he didn't start all year, but he did start for the majority of it, probably due to injury.
And then his first full year, it was a rough go. But last season, it wasn't great that first season. He started the whole season, but he was good.
They went 10-6 the first year he started all the games.
And then last year they went
13-3.
Yeah.
That's Chris.
Oh, I think we lose Chris.
His internet kicked out.
We lost Chris. That's okay.
Hey, we're not talking college football no more.
Stop talking college and
see you later, Chris.
Chris leaves.
All right. So Derek Carr, he was interviewed recently, the past couple of days. He's now 30 years old, and he was asked how long he thought he could play. He said, "I feel like I can play another 15 years." So that puts him at 45. That puts him in Brady numbers. And he says, without a doubt, nothing hurts. It's the middle of camp. I feel great. I feel strong. I feel fast. I feel explosive. Well, yeah, you're 30 years old. Nothing hurts at 30. You're just got out of your 20s. Things don't hurt yet. Do you think Brady has, because of his lifetime in football, has redefined the ideas of these kids, these young QBs, saying that they can play into their 40s now, because he has beaten the average lifetime of a starting QB in the NFL. Like most of them,
he's more than doubled it.
Yeah, hell, Megatron just retired retired and has been inducted into the Hall of Fame in between Brady's Super Bowl runs now.
So Megatron went to college after Brady had already won his first 3 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we can't compare.
He retired. He's already in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Brady is still playing.
Yep.
Right. Now we can't compare. And first of all, Chris messaged us, if you didn't see it, his power went out. That's why we lost him.
Oh, he's got to go plug in.
Yeah, I'm maybe his internet's out because his power's out.
Oh, he lost power.
Yeah, his power's out.
Oh, that's no fun.
The rain messed up his thing. No, but
bye, Chris.
Well, he can't see us.
You can watch it later.
Because he ain't no power. I guess his internet's out.
That's he's here in spirit because his picture's still there.
Right. I can't think of because there's been a handful of players. What was I going to say? You can't compare Tom Brady to
position to position.
Yeah, it's
right,
position
from other players, and most quarterbacks don't last that long anyhow. We're talking about
Jeremy, tilt your camera up again.
Drew Brees, who's that?
Hey, Nate. Nate got on here somehow.
We got live from the stadium.
How's the game, Nate?
This is nice.
I don't think he can hear us.
Can you hear us, Nate? Yes, no.
He can't hear nothing.
Hi, fellas.
Hey, Nate. How's the game?
I heard Chris lost power, so I figured I'd jump on real quick.
You should see your face. It's so spread out.
It's the least I could do for you guys, and be at Gillette watching Washington get ready to score.
Hey, cheers.
Kids. I mean, go football team.
Nate, are you drinking for all of us there?
I can't hear you very well.
We know.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Amanda.
So, as your live correspondent to the Patriots-Washington game.
Yeah, how's Mac Jones looking?
It rained a little bit in the beginning, but we're undercover, so we don't have to worry about it. We stayed in traffic for about an hour and a half until we got to park. We missed the entire first period.
Quarter.
It's called a quarter.
It's called a quarter, Nate. It's not hockey.
There you go.
Look at that. That's nice.
You got nice
You guys are
seats.
probably getting kicked off of YouTube now, but whatever.
That's fine. I think we're okay because you can't see it real great.
Yeah. Did you get written permission from the NFL and from the Patriots
I
to do
love
that?
you guys. Yeah, I love you guys. Have a great show, and I will be on next week.
All right, we're almost done here, so.
With your picks.
Cheers.
Bye, Nate. All right.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Did not expect to see him tonight.
Carr's not going to play up until he's 45. Not happening.
No.
Yeah.
I will say that about
Carr's
two players in the 30s right now.
Carr is struggling to maintain playing for the Raiders currently. They've tried to replace him many of times.
Yep.
See, it's not just the fact that someone can physically play. It is their talent level up to the point where a team wants to sign them to play.
Right.
Exactly. And the fact that he's not going to go out and play for a league minimum. He's going to want big money.
Right. And that's where the problem lies. And this is because I know everything about the Dolphins. Not everything, but I'm a more Dolphin-centric person.
Yep.
But John Denny, you probably don't know who that was. He's the long snapper for the Dolphins.
Okay.
He played long snapper for 19 years, which was unheard of.
At the time.
But guess what? He wanted a little more money than they were willing to pay him, so they got a different long snapper like 2 years ago, last year. So he's no longer playing for the Dolphins. He's no longer playing. He's out. Not because he didn't have the ability to, but because the money wasn't right, and no one else wanted to sign him.
Right.
Yeah, the money they were offering him wasn't what he thought he was worth.
Right, and it wasn't like a big deal. It was like only $450,000 or whatever. But but he was like, I want more because he wasn't complaining that it wasn't enough. He's just like, well, I should get a little bit more. And they said, well, we can't come to terms because they're trying to sign other players.
Right.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady, being the man that he is, as good as he is, and he is paid very well.
Yes, he is.
He also is willing to negotiate his contract to keep players around him.
Yeah, he's not demanding top of the market.
No.
Money.
When was the last time Tom Brady was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL?
I think that happened 2 years out of his entire career.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the beginning of last year, he was when he initially signed.
No, he was not.
No? I thought he was getting paid more than everybody else, and then somebody else got paid more.
No, he was only at 25. Most starting quarterbacks, or the top tier starting quarterbacks, are in the 30s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rodgers had him beat.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so
Rodgers always has to be the top paid quarterback. It's like ridiculous the money he wants to make.
Smitty, did you most?
I lost what?
We lost you, Jeremy. What was that?
So jumping a few quarterback competitions. Josh Allen, did you see the contract extension he just signed?
Okay. I hope he can hear us. Jeremy, slow down 1 sec and let your internet catch back up. Is it raining over there too?
I think you need to reset your modem, Jeremy. You're having problems.
Nope.
No.
I mean, we can hear you, but it's breaking up like a robot.
Yeah.
Like really choppy.
Are you using the modem?
Oh, there he goes.
You lost him.
Well, the pros are here. The producer and the mouth.
Huh?
Okay, I think you might want to. There you go. Come on back. There you are.
There you are.
There's that good-looking face. What was your question?
So jumping back a few quarterbacks we were talking about, did you see the most recent contract Josh Allen signed?
I did not.
No. It was a 6-year, $285 million contract extension.
Wow.
6 goes into 280, so 28. 6 times 4 is 24. So that's $40-something million per year.
Yes. So you realize the entire, or I think it was 250 something. It was 250 something million. Brady over his entire career has only made under contracts $260 something million.
Wow.
See, this is where we're getting stupid. This is just getting stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mahomes signed a 10-year, $400 million contract.
Yeah, his was fucking crazy too.
Yeah,
stupid crazy.
And
yeah,
then,
if you're not making 35 or more, you're not a top tier quarterback.
Yeah, you're not even in the talk of top paid quarterbacks.
Yeah. And the funny part is, not only did he only sign for a 2-year, $50 million deal, then he extends it and separates the second year money into second and third year, so that way he can keep all of the players.
Right, because Tom Brady, and this is what most quarterbacks, most players should do if you're on a good team.
Yeah.
Once you get paid, once you start getting paid, that third or fourth year, and you're a good player, and you've already signed for that $30 million over, whatever, and you've made $50 million, $55 million, whatever it is. Why are you trying to make $400 million? What can you do with $400 million? You can't do with 50. I mean, obviously you can do a few things, but seriously,
I got a couple.
$50 million.
I got a couple of cars on my list for $400 million.
It's like, come on, get your team together. Keep your team together.
The issue is you got these players that have the double-edged sword. They don't know how long the career is going to go, so they're trying to make as much money in as short a period of time as possible.
Jeez, Mac Jones just overthrew him. Okay.
The issue is Brady has he depends more on his endorsement money than he does on his contract from football.
What is he endorsed? Because I don't know. I've never seen an endorsement for him.
It's all like Uggs and like upper, like high end, high money.
Well, he got those kind of things because he's got the TB12, which is this whole athletic, like staying in shape thing.
He owns that company.
Yeah. And then he does endorsements for Uggs and stuff like that because
Under Armour,
all the high-end stuff because his wife is a model. And
then his wife makes more money than anyone could ever spend.
Yeah.
That's true, but
his wife is worth 5 times what he's worth.
Because you get to the point where it's like, okay, I got the money, so you want the accomplishments.
Yeah.
Because
But that's the difference. Most players, they go, yeah, I want to win a Super Bowl, but they want to get paid more.
Yeah.
It's which one do you really want more? Do you want more money or do you want to win Super Bowls?
Yeah,
and the issue is these players like, well, my career's cut short. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I want to make as much money as possible. And maybe if I stay long enough and play long enough, I will consider that. But then they get money hungry and say, well, no, we're not going to win, so I'm going to go after the money.
Which is why I'm saying when it comes to that point, there's a certain point of money that you've got enough to where you would, unless you're just greedy as hell and you need to have $1 billion in your bank account.
The issue is, think about throughout your entire life, have you not made more money in theory every year compared to the previous year?
Yes.
And yet you still don't have over those years, your lifestyle, you didn't really feel like it changed much, but you never seem to have a quickly growing bank account for that difference, correct?
Right.
Because you adapt your lifestyle based around what your current pay is. And well,
yeah,
these
but you're telling me
players,
someone's lifestyle at $50 million is going to be different than someone's lifestyle of $75 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
bigger
called
house, nicer cars, nicer women,
yachts.
Yeah, yachts.
More cocaine.
Yes,
Yes,
lots
exactly.
more cocaine.
He's in Florida
Lots
now.
more
Come on.
cocaine.
That's a good point, because if I had $50 million, I could easily blow it in a year.
Well, wouldn't that be suck it in a year?
She'd be gone.
Inhale.
And I would tell all of you, like, guys, don't come with me. I know you're invited, but I'm telling you, you have a good life, you have a good wife. Here's some money to help you guys out, but don't be hanging out with me.
Don't become partying with
very
me.
long.
If you like partying,
possibly. Would it be? You'll be in the wrong situation.
Would it be like partying with Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother?
You're like, I didn't do anything, honey, but you were there, and I don't know. It's like, it's Cindy's fault.
No, you're partying with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Surprised that man ain't got AIDS.
Well, that's okay because the tiger blood, right? Well, since we lost Chris, I think we're done. We done? You got anything else you guys want to talk about?
That was the last of the thing. You're right. You said we only have 3 things to discuss.
Yeah. And between Chris's college and we went into the weeds for that, and we got into the weeds for this until Chris left, because Chris is slowly learning professional football.
I don't know. I don't think Chris really talked much. He said, I agree with you guys.
He does.
That's the downfall of Chris. He just agrees with us. He doesn't argue with us.
Well, that's a lot of stuff that most of us do when he talks about college.
Yes.
Very true.
When he says, oh, yeah, Jake Mohanson from the tight end from Tennessee is going to blow past everyone else this year. And we're like, yep, I agree.
You say so, Chris.
That's because Chris is our college football correspondent.
He's our college football expert.
Yes. And, like, he's learning, like, because Chris came on the thing last year, I started watching college football. I hadn't watched college football since I was 10. Because, like, my mom puts it on, but, like, we don't, like, it's the Northeast, because we have the Patriots, we have the Jets around us, we have the Buffalo Bills. And we don't have a top tier college team. The Boston BC
Boston
College,
Eagles.
yeah, the Boston College Eagles. They're not good anymore. They haven't been good since Flutie left. That was the last time they won something.
That's what I was thinking. Boston College and Notre Dame.
What do you mean? They had Matt Ryan for a few years.
Yeah, but they still weren't that great. They didn't make it to.
Yeah, we know
they made it to a bowl game and then they lost. And like we have a bunch of like Ivy League colleges, and they're crappy football teams. They have a lot of money.
In the 80s, you had, like you said, Boston College at Penn State.
Yeah, well, Penn State's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, but it's still Northeast.
No, Pennsylvania is not the Northeast. You're talking New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts.
Pennsylvania's like right next to you guys.
That's New England.
Yeah,
but that still does include Pennsylvania, New York, Jersey.
I do understand both of your sides on that. But
yeah,
yes,
but when it comes to college football, Pennsylvania is so far away. It's like I'm not going to go to a Penn State game.
That is true because you guys have 7 states like smushed together within like a spitting distance.
We do.
Come on, if you turn when you pee, you might be able to hit all 3 of them.
Like
maybe 4.
Like I have to go to New Hampshire to get my cigarettes now because Massachusetts outlawed menthol cigarettes. It's like, really?
That's racist.
Why do you think I left that
It
state?
is.
No, but and what you said about that is, for me, it's true too, because I watch college football. I'm watching like the bigger games.
Yeah.
But since he came up and started talking, I still watch Ohio State. And this has nothing to do with LP and the Raging Cajuns, but I ended up starting to watch the like UTEP versus SEF or something like that. Like, let me watch this game.
Yeah.
See what goes on there.
Like,
so I'm starting to watch more not low class, but not as big.
Just
Not
any
the big
college
names,
game
not
that
the
was
big
on.
names ones.
Yeah, just any college game that was on. Because, like, I caught myself watching some, like, Division III teams last year. And I was like, this game's actually not too bad. Where the hell are these guys in the rankings? And I find out that they're, like, at the bottom of the bottom. And I'm like, this game was actually pretty good. Why is this so bad? Why are they so bad? And then I watched, like, the number 1 and number 2 bowl game when they were playing for the championship. And I was like, now I know why they were at the bottom.
No, maybe I watched a high school game. I'm not sure.
It's possible. If you're watching the now I can't remember what the hell it's called. Stadium Network. It like every once in a while there's a high school game on there. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, that's like you watch these lower tiered college games. You're like, oh, they look good. Then you watch these top 5 ranked teams. You're like, they're pro ready.
Yeah,
it's like drafting. They're pro ready.
And I'm like, now I understand why these guys get drafted like instantly.
And I have a question for you because you're from up there. Because something that's really popular in Northwest Florida and where I'm from, and pretty much all the South, which I don't see it when I was up in Kansas and all.
Yeah.
Is this that you went to high school, right?
Yep.
Went to the football games, boom, you left high school and maybe went to 1 or 2 games afterwards, but you had no family or friends that go there. Do you go back every Friday to watch your high school football team play?
Thanksgiving. That was about it.
Because they do. Everyone I know goes back to their high school because that's where they live still.
Yep.
And every Friday, go Gators, go Eagles, go Panthers. I'm like, dude, you're 40 years old. What the hell are you coming? And you had no kid playing here.
Right.
You don't have a kid coming to school. Why are you here?
So every once in a while I used to because my wife worked for the school.
That makes sense.
So I'd get free tickets in. So I'd be like, all right, well, I'm not doing anything else tonight. I'll just go. I'll watch the game.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you have like no family or friends involved in it whatsoever, why are you going to this game? Because they love football that much.
Right.
Their life revolves around their high school football. They don't move past that in their life.
Like, I just found out that one of the kids that I coached in flag football is playing for Monty Tech now. That's where both me and Jerry went to high school, and where Nate went to high school, actually. And Gail, we all went to Monty Tech. And I've just found out that a kid that I coached when he was 10 years old is going to Monty Tech for football, going to Monty Tech.
And he's too old.
And he's playing football there, and now I kind of want to go see a couple again, because I remember this kid when he was raw and never played before.
And that makes sense, too.
And so I kind of, like, that was my school, so now I kind of really want to go see him play.
And you felt really old when you realized that, didn't you?
Yes, it did. Because he's the same age as Ben, so it's like, wow, I am old enough for having these kids in high school now.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've been doing this for a long time.
It goes fast, man.
Oh, yeah. It just seems like go faster every year. But I think that's good for tonight. We will hopefully see you next week, Smitty.
I'll be here.
Hopefully everything goes well.
Maybe not.
No Smitty next week. We're going to do picks the week after.
Well, I thought Smitty might be with his brother next week. We might get a double Smitty.
At this time of night next week, if I get my leave approved, I will be at my brother's house, so I should be able to do this.
And then
if I get my leave approved, I'll be right here.
So we can get Smitty and Smitty's brother on the podcast.
Is he older or younger than you? Is he older or younger than you, Smitty?
He is older than me. I'm the youngest in my family.
Oh, wow. So we're going to have dinosaur Smitty
older than you alive?
And prehistoric Smitty?
He knew Methuselah.
Ah. He was around when the earth was made.
Yep. You heard of Adam and Eve, right? You know about Cain and Abel, their first 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had more. They just don't talk about it in the Bible. I'm not going to say who my mom and dad were.
Is your brother's name Steve?
That would be epic if it was. Actually, his name is Merlin.
Ah, well, so he knows King Arthur then, right?
Exactly. I never known another Merlin besides my nephew. His name's Merlin number 2.
Merlin Jr.
Yep, that's only 2 Merlins I've ever met my whole life.
So hopefully he has a Merlin, so we got a Merlin the third.
Well, he just had a little girl, so.
So he's gonna try. He's gonna face her north.
And Berlinda. That's not her name. No, but I'll see if he wants to get on here. He probably will.
Oh yeah,
I'll get him a.
It'd be fun to have the Smitty clan on here.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all, folks.
Bye, everybody. And good night. All right.